Good afternoon, guys, and thank you so much for clicking on my channel because, oh my goodness, I should not have told the world that I was taking vacation time in the June because, man, everything went awry over here with the family. But we're doing good over here. Thank you guys for the well wishes. And then, right when we're starting to feel better, we have to get the shots for baby girl. So you can imagine how that goes, parents out there. But we got to get you guys some technical analysis for today going into Thursday tomorrow. We will get you guys those daily expected moves. And I have a little bit of time here, so I'm going to just go over the SPY and the Qs, and then we'll dip into some of those other charts tomorrow or do a pre-market update before the open for Patreon. Okay, so we do see that this is the 30-minute pullback that could come. When you drag this out for so long, this could be that opportunity. You can see these multiple times as you do take back trend, that you do see these touches of the 5-day moving average, meaning what? We can actually head higher. Now, we don't necessarily see any kind of divergences that really matter at this point for the 30-minute chart because they're so extended across on this MACD. You're so extended across and you're just climbing, climbing, climbing on this RSI. You don't necessarily want to take that into consideration at this point. You want to see if it can create that very clearly when volatility starts to pick up and you see a little bit bigger moves. So something that I would be aware of for tomorrow are the daily expected moves: 606.37 to the upside, 596.35 to the downside. Now, the daily or the implied volatility for the daily expected moves this week, each day has been almost exactly the same. And you're seeing that again here for Thursday. So you do have a very relatively interesting thing that could say, hey, this could just be one of these moments to start doing this all over again. So something that you will look for is if volatility is increasing, which it is attempting to increase right now, is do we get one last trap to the upside? This is where we want to start to think about traps. Why do we want to think about traps here? And we're going to come back to the 30-minute chart in just a moment, but the daily time frame did what it needs to do, right? As far as it goes, this is really all that this needs to do in order to get a daily pullback that makes sense down towards these type of levels. That can happen, but we know that there is some squeeze ability at this time, and we're not necessarily at the monthly expected move. So we are open to more upside, but we know the actual better trade will most likely be wherever we're able to get our actual daily pullback throughout the summer at some point. But that might be leading into like midway through July. So very, very good to do this. Now you can come tap back into this zone and we can be off to the races if we would like to be. If we want to extend higher first, okay, then we can hold up a little bit better. All right. That's just for the daily time frame though. So for the 30-minute, what are we really watching for here with a bunch of gray across my screen? Sorry, it's a little sloppy. I have to do this kind of quick, but I apologize for all the quick videos, guys. It will go back to normal hopefully next week when everyone's feeling good. Baby girl didn't have all these doctor's appointments. Wifey's feeling good. So it will go back to normal very, very soon. We do see here that the 30-minute has given us some room. So what I want to watch for tomorrow is, do we see an upward move, pretty decent throughout the day, and then do we end up rolling that move at some point? I really do believe, I was saying around like these times, hey, the market really needs to show you what it's going to do unless we just want to do this melt up thing. The reason I didn't want the melt up thing to actually take place, even though I mentioned it multiple times, was just because it's so hard to tell when you're actually going to squeeze through. So one of these dip kind of moments can be the next time you actually can see some sort of upside. And then if that upside leads into weakness, remember your daily expected move here means 68% chance to close below that. So if we make a move out of this early on in the day, that's when we'll be looking for a potential 30-minute divergence. But we want to be aware if that 30-minute divergence gets wiped out with some good news, and then we can continue this for quite some time going into even next week. So we'll be watching for that. The downside move, we're going to continue the downside. Well, then we are going to roll beneath the 5. Really, in this area, you can hold up. Notice that in the past, we've lost the 5-day before to dip into those buyers. So we could dip into buyers below the daily expected move if we would like to do so and get some kind of more prolonged 2-hour pullback. If the 2-hour is able to lose something risky, let's give you that risky level. It's still the same. Nothing has really changed this week. That 591 around this area, if the 2-hour is able to break that, then we can see some sort of pathway to keep breaking down over time for the 2-hour chart. So just be aware of it. Let's flip over to the Qs and get you guys some key levels. All right, let's get over the Qs and show that off. We do see that the daily upside move for tomorrow is 537.71 to the upside. We see 527.11 to the downside. This is proving to show us a lot of resilience. Now, when you look at 2-hour charts, you have a different story, right? We didn't talk about this with the SPY. You can come over to the 2-hour chart real quick and you can kind of see, oh yeah, this is the problem with this 2-hour chart is the melt up kind of thing does not necessarily give you too much trust in your MACD or RSI at this point, just because you're like, this is kind of extended over time. We have a bunch of different curl ups. So if you wanted to extend this out to a 4-hour or something like that, I think you could trust a 4-hour confirmation a little bit better. I just wanted to point that out. Let's switch back over to the Qs. The Qs, I think you can like read into it a little bit, but I still prefer extending out the time frame and looking for a good confirmation. Actually, and these good confirmations have failed over and over. That's how resilient this is. This is actually a good confirmation bar right here. And then you notice we just whip up the next day. So that's why shorting in this environment can be very, very difficult. And I would just be aware of that. Okay, we are still in that environment. The time where it seems more like, I would say, more reasons to have some kind of calling a top position or something like that is when you're at this yellow line. Okay, that's when you're outside of the 68% zone. And then if you see a reversal signal, that's usually where you do see those bigger pullbacks. All right. For the Qs on the 2-hour chart, though, if this wanted to, it can pull down to daily expected move. We can come into those buyers within this gap right here and see if we're able to turn to the upside. We are looking for an explosive move from the 2-hour, and a pullback for the 2-hour would be really nice. Even if it wanted to pull all the way down to here, sadly enough, that could be all you get is some kind of move like this, and then it's done, and we start to curl up into positive territory again next week. So just be aware that this thing can remain irrational even still. Even going into tomorrow, you can see that as of right now, the trend is up. The MACD is positive. It is turned down. That means that we need this to cross back up to get to that daily expected move or see something crazy. If we get to that daily expected move early on in the day, just watch for if it starts to roll, and we will be watching this in the morning with you guys live tomorrow on YouTube, just like we do every single morning. But if you see that, we can create some kind of little 30-minute divergence or rejection divergence here, just really, really fast. So I don't think you want to do that. I think right now you want to squeeze or just continue that positive price action, confirm down, don't lose the previous low. So we'll be watching for that. It seems like the market is being very resilient, but volatility is still saying like, hey, I might want to come back into this market. You don't really have 30-minute divergence. You have a little rejection one on the 15-minute, or actually you have, I believe, 15-minute divergence down there. You have a rejection one for the 2-hour. And this is proving to produce some volatility. But is this just hedging at this point? We haven't seen anything that's really going to tear down this market. So this spike in volatility that you might be very worried about. Yes, you're making a new high. Yes, you are looking like you're going to dip down to go again, right? You're going into a positive trend. So just be aware if a trap happens in the morning, and we will make you aware of those things. The reason you really want to be aware of it is for any potential that these signals are going to get it right. These are very choppy signals. These are not the best signals in the world, but you can see they are still, I believe at this point, holding the original divergence point and the second one as well, very, very flat. So you do still have that weakness in momentum. We have not seen a squeeze moment to get rid of that at this point. So we have to treat this market very carefully, and we'll watch it with you in the morning. Just so you're aware, for volatility on the daily scale here, we do have forms of divergence as well, pretty steep. So we could see that daily pullback very, very soon, even if we squeeze to the upside. And I believe that risk gets elevated over the weekend. I think anything after this week, the prices that we're seeing now, even one more upside move, you have to say this market's starting to get riskier and riskier. And even if it squeezes to something like 618, the easier trade most likely won't be this one, but would more likely be this one down here, or this one down here, or this one all the way down here if we decide to reject right now. So do what's best for you, right? You have, the reason we talk about these things is so that you can formulate a plan for yourself, because each person is different. We think about money differently. We trade differently. So hopefully you're utilizing some of this information to understand and make a plan for your setup. Being patient for those confirmations, making sure you have 5 reasons to take a trade, and then having a plan for if that goes wrong. Okay. Thank you guys so much for sticking through me through this. Really, it's been a rough month. I'm not going to lie. Thanks for sticking through with me through this, and we'll get back to normal hopefully next week. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the morning. Peace out.